Welcome students. We are doing the Rise of the Nationalism in Europe MCQ. This is the part 2 of the total 4 parts which I have made to help you in understanding these chapters on the basis of MCQ also, and also we will refer the book. I hope you are enjoying my videos. If you are, please keep on liking them and sharing with your friends. Let's begin the part 2. What actions were taken in the name of the nation? Army was formed, regular meetings were held, social work was done, or hymns were composed, oaths taken, and martyrs commemorated. Custom duties were abolished. So, student, if you know, when in the Europe the nationalism rose, each nation started, composing their hymns, oaths, and also they starting abolishing custom duties. So these actions were taken in the name of the nations. The French revolutionaries declared that the mission and destiny of the French nation was to conquer the people of Europe, to liberate the people of Europe from despotism, to strengthen absolute monarchies in all the countries of Europe, or to propagate the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity in every part of the world. And students, if you remember, the French Revolution declared that the mission and destiny of the French nation was to liberate the people of Europe from despotism. We will refer the book also. It says the revolutionaries further declared that it was the mission and the destiny of the French nation to liberate the peoples of Europe from despotism. In other words, to help other peoples of Europe to become nations. So they wanted to make the whole of Europe as nations. What does absolutist mean? A philosophy, a theory, a monarchical government, or a painting? Let's refer the book. So students, if we refer the book, it says absolutist, literally a government or a system of rule that has no restraints on the power exercised. In history, the term to a form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized, and repressive. So it is a monarchical government. So we know the answer now. The absolutists mean monarchical government. Unification of Germany took place between which periods? 1860 to 1871, 1866 to 1871, or 1856 to 1871, or 1870 to 1871. So students, if you see your book on the right hand side of the chapter, these important periods have been mentioned, and the unification of Germany took place between 1866 to 1871. Pick out the correct definition to define the term plebiscite. So it's a long definition. Let's refer the book to understand the answer also. So the options are: plebiscite is a direct vote by which only the female members of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal, or only a chosen few from the total population of a particular region to accept or reject a proposal, or it is a direct vote by the female members of a matriarchal system to accept or reject a proposal, or it is a direct vote by which all the citizens of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal. So we refer the book. Plebiscite is a direct vote by which all the people of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal. So you'll have to remember, it is all the people. So I think we know the answer. It is all the citizens or all the people of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal. The liberal nationalism stands for freedom for the individual and equality before law, preservation of autocracy and clerical privileges, freedom only for senior citizen, or freedom for only male members of society, and equality before law. So students, the liberal nationalism का मतलब होता है freedom for the individual and equality before law. It is not based on senior citizens or male or female. It is for each individual and equality before law. The Napoleonic Code was exported to which of the following regions? England, Poland, regions under French control, or Spain? Students, answer for this is, this code was exported to regions under French control. 3 wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark, Germany and France ended in Prussian victory, French victory, Danish victory or German victory. I think this is an easy one, students. The 3 wars over 7 years ended in Prussian victory. What did Napoleon do in the territory that was under his control? तो नेपोलियन क्या किया अपने टेरिटरी में जो उसके कंट्रोल में थी? He set about introducing many reforms, worked for peace, he set about war strategies or worked towards democratic ideas. So students, what did Napoleon do in the territory that was under control? He set about introducing many reforms which he had already started in France. What did Napoleon do to make the system efficient and rational in France? In the administrative field, he had incorporated revolutionary principles. He worked on military. He brought about different reforms, or he worked on the financial conditions. So students, the correct answer for this is Napoleon. To make the system efficient and rational in France, what he did is, in the administrative field, he had incorporated revolutionary principles. Napoleon invaded Italy in 1797, 1905, 1821 or 1790s. So students, we know the answer. Napoleon invaded Italy in 1797. Remember, it's an important period. Let's refer the book also. So if you see in your chapter, there are some important dates mentioned. Do go through this before exam. So 1797, Napoleon invades Italy and the Napoleonic Wars begin. So we know the dates. All of this, fall of Napoleon is 1814 to 1815, Greek struggle for independence 1821, revolutions in Europe 1848, unification of Italy 1859 to 1870, and so on. So we know the answer, it's 1797. The political and constitutional changes brought about by the French Revolution were, it ended the absolute monarchy, it transferred power to body of the French citizens, it proclaimed that henceforth people would constitute the nation and shape its destiny, or all of this above. So students, the political and constitutional changes during the French Revolution ended the monarchy also, and it transferred power to a body of French citizens also, and it also proclaimed that henceforth people would constitute the nation and shape its destiny. So all of the above is the right answer. What did Germania symbolize? French nation, German nation, British nation, or none of the above? I think that's an easy one. The Germania symbolizes the German nation. The civil code of in France is usually known as Napoleonic Code, the French Revolutionary Code, European Imperial Code, or the French Civil Code. That's an easy one. We know the Civil Code of 1804 in France is usually known as the Napoleonic Code. Napoleon had no doubt destroyed dash in France: federal rule, monarchy, democracy, or sovereignty. And students, that's an easy one. We know Napoleon had no doubt destroyed democracy in France. What did the customs union or Zollverein do? They only abolished tariff barriers. They abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currencies from over 30 to 2. They abolished tariff charges and reduced the currencies to 5. or just abolished tax? Students, Zollverein or the customs union actually abolished tariff barriers and also reduced the number of currencies from over 30 to 2 only. Politically, what did liberalism stood for? The concept of government by consent, a government formed by noble people, the right to vote, a centralized power exercised sovereign control over a clearly defined territory. So students, politically, liberalism stood for the concept of government by consent. Regional dialects were discouraged and dash became the common language of the nation. Polish language, French, Italian or English. So students, in this fill in the blanks, we know the regional dialects were discouraged and French became the common language of the nation. The first great revolution, which gave the clear idea of nationalism with its core words liberty, equality and fraternity, was the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the American Revolution, or India's first war of independence. So that's an easy one. We know the first great revolution which gave the clear idea of nationalism was the French Revolution. To whom Metternich described as the most dangerous enemy of our social order, Giuseppe Mazzini, Napoleon Bonaparte, Cavour or Giuseppe Garibaldi. And students, that's again an easy one. We know Metternich described Giuseppe Mazzini as the most dangerous enemy of our social order. The allegory of the German nation who wears a crown of oak leaves was a Germania, Union Jack, Britannia or Marianne. Again, this is an easy one. We know the allegory of the German nation who wears a crown of oak leaves was a Germania. What did Das Volk stand for? Common people, factory workers, slum dwellers or democracy? And students, that's again an easy one. Das Volk stands for the common people. What did Napoleon do in the rural areas of these regions? Put taxes on the peasants, encourage the federal system, simplified administrative divisions, abolished the feudal systems and freed peasants from serfdom and manorial due, made administration strict. So we know Napoleon did simplified administrative divisions and also abolished the feudal system and freed peasants from serfdom and manorial due. And students, this was the last question of the part 2. I hope you have enjoyed it and keep watching. I will be posting the part 3 and part 4 very soon.